I shouldn't be alive. I used to not believe in miracles, but I do because I've realized that I am one. I was born in a Christian home. However, I didn't follow God the whole of my life. I got so sick of seeing people having fun, going out to parties, drinking, hooking up, and I'm just stuck here in my room. Like, there's got to be more. So I chose to walk away. I chose to follow the crowd. I decided to eventually start drinking, start drugs. And the thing is that it does work, but it wears away. So many people in this world have all these voices going through their heads. So in listening to all these voices, the kind of things that I heard was things like, you know, nobody likes you, you've messed up, you'll never be accepted, nobody will love you, and you're never going to be good enough. It was those voices that took me to a place of major depression, and then actually continuing to listen to them and just deciding that that's what I was. It was one night that I decided that I was just going to end it all. I was sick of being hurt, I was sick of hurting on the inside. So I took about 50 to 60 different tablets, just so I thought that I would just go to sleep and then everything would be over. I shouldn't have survived. The doctor said that it was a miracle that I survived. And even getting out, I continued to go back onto that same road. So after many more years of just trying to do it my own way, I had burnt all of my bridges. I had been kicked out of home. There have been several times that I'd been arrested by the police. I've been in jail quite a few times. I felt like I was completely alone. And there was one couple, and they agreed to take me in. And I thank God every day for them, because I wouldn't be here without them. See, it was through these two people that I actually started to go back to church and pray, and that was part of being able to stay at their house. That was when I started to change. And it was about this time that I went to a rehab called Teen Challenge. It forced me to realize that this is serious and I have to fight for my life. So it was in there that I really truly learnt what God's character was. I learnt how to look after myself. I actually began to learn how God saw me, that I actually am important. Lessons that haven't left me to this day. So I finished the Teen Challenge program, and then I had one day out in the world. The next day, I started a discipleship training school at YWAMPerth. There was 1 week in there, and that was the week called Repentance and Forgiveness. And I realized that as easy as it was to forgive so many other people around me, that it was so hard for me to forgive myself for the amount of disappointments, the stuff that I put my family through, the bad decisions that I had made. At the end of the week, it's what we call application. There's no holding back. And that was the day that I was actually able to forgive myself. And there's just a freedom in forgiveness. I never would have thought back then in my past that God would be able to use me to do great things, and He could pick so many better people, people that are more qualified, people that, you know, haven't done the wrong thing. Why would He want to choose me? But God is a God of the impossible. You see, one of the other most important things that I've ever learned is that our past does not define our future. I now get the privilege to go over to different countries, to speak in jails about my past, to speak in high schools, to speak in youth groups, to talk about how God has actually changed my life. And I tell you what, nothing beats what I'm doing now, because it is just amazing.